The words Good Friday and Fleetwood Town aren't really words that go together, in my view. Certainly not from an Oxford United point of view anyway, considering it's a ground we have never, ever won at, and it's a ground where we need to go to try and keep the season alive. And wow, this was another stupidly difficult game for Oxford United, which did not need to be that way. Basically, Oxford have for the first time ever won a game at Fleetwood Town, and although results did not go our way, the season is still alive and kicking. We've still got a chance, and after 3 defeats, it did feel nice to get a win, but my God, did we make it hard. It finished Fleetwood Town 2, Oxford United 3. So not for the first time this season, Oxford United, who named an unchanged side from the defeat to Sunderland, got off to a really good start. And this was a blinding start to the fact where we had the game won pretty much after 15 minutes. And your mind went to that Gillingham game where we absolutely ran riot. But after that, it seemed we spent the rest of the game trying to find a way to lose the game from a seemingly untouchable position. But it was an early goal for Nathan Holland after 2 minutes where we really just exposed Fleetwood's frailties at the back. I mean, this is a relegation threatened side like Morecambe were, where you would expect Oxford's attacking lineup to really put them to the sword, and early on we really did. Good move, which was again poor defending, and that Fleetwood just couldn't really clear it, and the ball found a way to Holland, and he was able to finish with a left foot. Nice finish, great start. But we've seen that many times for Oxford United, and it was encouraging that we didn't have to wait too long for the second goal. Again, Fleetwood's inability to be able to clear the ball in this first 15 minutes was in full evidence. And again, this time down the left-hand side, the ball comes back to Brannagan, and he gets a bit of space, moves the ball really well, gets a bit of space and finishes really nicely. I think that's 14 goals for the season for Branners. Very, very good return. What an excellent improvement he's made to the goal tally this season. And Oxford 2-0 up after 7 minutes, and that got even better after 16 minutes when again a move down the left hand side, a cross in, and the ball just seemed to hit Billy Bodin's head. I don't really know if he made much of an attempt to actually really head it. Maybe I'm being unfair, but it just kind of seemed to just hit Billy Bodin in the head and go into the bottom corner. And at that point, everything Oxford touched turned to gold. Everything seemed like it was going to be a very comfortable afternoon. And but from then on in, strap yourselves in, because the horror show did start. All of a sudden, the 3-0 down Fleetwood decided to start playing, and it started with a free kick on the edge of the box which hit the bar, which Stevens just seemed to let hit the bar. But it was a good strike, to be fair. And then Fleetwood just piled on the pressure. Then they were awarded a penalty after 39 minutes. And I thought it was slightly harsh. I think that Long's got his arms not really high, but they're out to the side, and the ball has hit it on a replay. And I guess we've had a few lucky penalty shouts. I'm thinking against Shrewsbury, that was a bit of a soft one. So maybe that's come back around. Ellis Harrison, who was linked with United at the start of the season, rolled in the penalty. The ex-Pompey striker, who was a real threat all afternoon, really. I was quite glad when they took him off in the second half, because he was a real physical threat up front. And it's really interesting to see what Oxford's season would have been like if we'd have signed Ellis Harrison. How different the season may have played out. Maybe it would have made no difference at all. But certainly a type of physical player that we do not have, and that could really bully centre-halves. And he really almost single-handedly dragged Fleetwood back into this game. And then Fleetwood were really got up ahead of steam, and Oxford were really hanging on at the end of that first half. We were really glad to hear the half-time whistle, even at 3-1 up, because every time Fleetwood got the ball, it seemed like our fullbacks were really exposed. It seems like they had a very easy time putting us under pressure. And 3-1 did not feel like a comfortable lead, but as recent games was gone, you're bloody happy to have it. Second half was a nightmare. Did anybody enjoy the second half? Come on, be honest. This was horrible to watch. Virtually from the first 30 seconds when Ellis Harrison got to a real shanked cross, which made Eastwood. I wish it was Eastwood. Which made Stevens make a save, a good save actually by Jack Stevens for that instance. Taylor then had a goal disallowed for offside, and which was a really, really good move, which would have been a great goal. And actually, Taylor was probably guilty of missing Oxford's best chance in that first half at the end of it, where he risked a really simple chance with his one-on-one with the keeper. And we'll circle back to Taylor at the end, because there's some interesting comments about him, which I don't really agree with in recent games, but that was about Oxford's lot in that second half. There was one chance also from when Sykes made a really good run and he crossed it across the box and Bodin just couldn't get on the end of it. But basically this was Oxford just hanging on. And the second goal came too early for us to be happy about it. Ball down the channel. Stevens went in with a defender. Stevens thought he was fouled, but he didn't hold on to the ball. The ball came out to Hayes. He was able to roll it into an empty net. You know, if that was the role reverse, an Oxford player is ballooning that ball over the bar. Probably Gavin White, but Fleetwood are able to keep it down, keep it into the net. 2-3 to Oxford United at that point. And I threw my mouse across the room in frustration at that one, because at that point, you thought Oxford United are not going to get anything out of this game, are you? We're going to get a draw at best. Because our defending is so bad. It looks so easy to put us under pressure. And we just look like we just don't know how to handle it. The shape just looks so bad. It looks like we're just not able to just sit back and play on the counter-attack, which you thought would be a real strength with the pace, with the wide players that we have in the team, but Oxford just seem unable to do it. And when we're unable to get a foot on the ball and take a touch and knock it around it, we really, really lose our composure very, very easily, it seems. And Fleetwood, you just felt you felt it was a matter of time before that third goal came, and how it didn't, I don't really know. There was a real scramble in the box, which Kieran Brown cleared off the line, and then it was just basically really backs to the wall defending for Oxford. I can't really think of too many saves that Stevens had to make. It was more pressure than anything else, but not a fun watch, not a good watch. A really nasty injury to James Henry is probably the main takeaway that people are going to remember at the end of this game as well. A real horrible clash of heads, which looks like it may have left Henry with a broken nose. Really not very nice when you see them putting sawdust on the pitch. Yikes. So hopefully Henry's okay. But yeah, 9 minutes of injury time. Oxford do see it out. Oxford get the win. Hasn't really helped us in terms of the league positions, because there were wins today for Sunderland. There were late winner again for the Mackhams. Wins for Wycombe over Plymouth. My God, why can't we win over the sides in and around us? Wycombe have really found their form. And so it leaves us in a worse position than we were when we started, because we've got less games now to claw back the deficit. But all we could do was win today. In a game against a team where we never beat them, in a stadium where we've never won, and we have got the job done somehow, by hook or by crook. The players probably low on a bit of confidence. Hopefully that will have put a bit of confidence back into them going into a very difficult game now on Tuesday against MK Dons, and then on to a very difficult game against Rotherham the weekend after that. So all Oxford could do was win, and they did. So I'm thankful for that. But, jeez Christ, it was harder than it ever needed to be. But just one little thing. Arsenal didn't even really play great after that first 15 minutes. I guess McNally and Elliot Moore did more than their fair share of good defensive headers and good tackles. But no one really stood out. Really, no one really took the game by the scruff of the neck from an Oxford point of view. And a Marcus McGuane holding onto the ball and drawing a foul in the 98th minute probably got as big a cheer from the Oxford fans as anything did in that second half. But you do worry about, again, when we play MK Dons, if we're giving up chances and we're giving up possession. We're giving up chances and we look so under the cosh against a side like Fleetwood. What are MK Dons and Rotherham going to do to us? But that is another game for another time. Quickly on Matty Taylor. No joy again in front of goal for him today. Not been a great period for him recently, but some very negative comments about Matty Taylor. I mean, he is our leading goal scorer. He's got over 20 goals. I think he's got more goals every season he's been at Oxford. So, like, why do people slag him off? I don't really understand. As people call him lazy because he doesn't work hard enough. He's got 21 goals. It's pretty good. Maybe get off the guy's back, for goodness sake. But there's not really too much more to dwell on this one. We can breathe a sigh of relief and look forward to the MK Dons game, where we really need Oxford to put in a good performance. And hopefully Sheffield Wednesday will kick the stuffing out of the MK Dons. Hopefully MK Dons win that game, but let's hope they get about 6 players sent off in the process. And it's a very weak MK Dons side that comes to the Kassam. But I wouldn't expect that. Expect a tough game. Hopefully Oxford can win it. Cheer on. Have a good Easter, folks. We've got another win on the board. It's nice. Although 69 is a great number and in some ways the greatest number, it is nice to finally get off that number. But that's all from me. Hit like if you like it. Oxford fans, Fleetwood Town fans, leave your comments below. Fleetwood fans, very interested to hear your comments on the game and where your season has gone and what it means for you going forward. Not looking great for you, I must say. Staring relegation in the face, unless you can turn that around in the next few games. But Oxford fans, leave your comments. Hit like, hit subscribe and all that jazz. Yay! We won!